if we analyze in a very classical way, in a very political way, the behavior of Donald Trump, certainly we have the right to be upset. But the reality is quite different. In reality, we are not talking about chess, Go, or even shogi. We are talking about poker. So the idea is to change the framework to avoid to be totally rational in order to be out of the framework of game theory. We are in fact in game of power. So the idea is not to play with the classical way. We know the position of the US about Russia. We know the position of Donald Trump. But we don't really understand what is the deep meaning of this behavior. In reality, we have to keep in mind the problem with China, the relation of Russia with China. We are trying to avoid this alliance. And in this complex game, we have to play with Ukraine. So we don't need to sacrifice Ukraine. This is not the point of view. We are, in fact, more or less in a kind of gambit, even if we don't play chess. So the idea is to disturb even the alliance in order to get more results, for example, about NATO and about the contribution of European states for Ukraine. So we know this, it's obvious, and we don't need to take account the fake news which are used in order to change the mentation of our partners. The idea is to use them and to understand that we are talking about a deception method in order to get a strange result at the first glance, but at the end, this is the point. So the key point of this misunderstanding of this behavior is more or less that we have to convince at the same time that we are closer to Russia and closer to China more than those two states are close. So we have to take account of this triangular relation in order to understand why Donald Trump is talking in this way about Ukraine and, of course, specifically about Zelensky. There is no need to be upset. We have to take control of this strange game and to understand that we need an autonomous strategy in Europe. We need to have a new kind of alliance between the US and Europe. And we know that in reality, the problem of Ukraine is not unique, it's just a point in this complex game. So we have to avoid to over interpret in a very easy way what we are seeing, and we have to think deeper what should be the method in order to get the result we want.